Greetings everyone. Today I Geetanjali from BBSM4, student of Mahila Maha Vidyalaya Jalandhar, is going to represent my seminar on the topic the impact of social media on mental health. But first of all, I would like to express my deep gratitude towards our professor in charge, Mrs. Beenu Gupta ma'am, for her guidance and encouragement. So let's start with the presentation. First of all, we have table of content. In this, I have listed all the topics that I have covered in this presentation. Let's start with the introduction to social media. So, what is social media? Social media is internet based and gives users a quick electronic communication of content such as personal information, documents, videos, and photographs. Users engage with social media via a computer, tablet, or smartphone, via web-based softwares or applications. Next is why people share information. A fascinating study by the New York Times Consumer Insight Group revealed the motivations that participants cited for sharing information on social media. These includes a desire to reveal valuable and entertaining content to others, to define themselves, to grow and nourish relationships, and to get a word out about brands and causes they like or support. Origin of social media. Social media originated as a way to interact with friends and family, but was later adopted by businesses that wanted to take advantage of a popular new communication method to reach out to customers. There are more than 3.8 billion social media users around the world, and there were 448 million social media users in India by January 2021. Social media users in India. Facebook remained the popular choice among the social media platforms as of 2020. India has embraced the internet with open arms, and its digital population has been rapidly growing in the past decade, over 680 million active internet users in 2022. Furthermore, according to Statista, the social network users in the country were expected to be almost 1.5 billion in 2040. Platforms used in India. In this table, we have different apps and the population that are the users of these apps. First of all, YouTube, 85.8%, Facebook, 75.7%, WhatsApp, 74.6%, Instagram, 70.6%, Facebook Messenger, 55%, Twitter, 50.6%, LinkedIn, 37.7%, Pinterest, 34.3%, Snapchat, 33.7%, Skype, 29.3%, Telegram, 28.5%, Hello, 22.9%. And when TikTok was used in India, the population of percentage 31.5% were users of TikTok. And these data I have collected from the site given below. Next, we are going to discuss the different reasons of using social media. Number one, we have to stay in touch. Most of the people use social media apps to stay in touch with their friends or their family members. Next is to tackle boredom. When people have nothing to do and are really bored, they use their phones and they scroll through their different applications of social media like Instagram, YouTube, etc. to tackle with their boredom. Next is to fill up the spare time. When people have nothing to do and are really in need to do something, so to stay active, they usually go through their social media platforms. Next we have is to stay up to date. Not only these, but some people also use these social media applications for education purpose or to stay updated with the news that are going around in the world. Next we have is to meet new people. We not only stay in touch with our family or friends, but we can also create new friends on social media applications. The positive aspects of social media. Virtual interaction on social media doesn't have the same psychological benefits as face-to-face contact. There are still many positive ways in which it can help you to stay connected and support your well-being. Here are several positive impacts of social media. Social media makes it easier to make friends, to foster empathy. It allows for speedy communication. Social media makes the world seem smaller. It helps you build relationships, helps news travel faster. It also helps you find common ground. Where we have some positive approaches towards social media, we also have negative aspects. So let's discuss them. Number one is depression and anxiety. Next is increases cravings for attention. Then it distracts from the life goals. Number four is relationships are more likely to fail. It stunts creativity, and at last, cyberbullying. So we have already discussed the data that I have collected from the different websites available online, and now we are going to discuss the primary data that I have collected using the Google form shown here. Result right from this data shows that the maximum users of social media are between the age of 19 to 28 with 65%, while the left are 22% within the age of 10 to 18, 9% within the age of 29 to 38, and 4% between the age of 39 and above. Here it shows that 83% are the female users of social media and left 16% are the male. So when we ask the question that are you into social media, 90% of the people says yes and the 10% of the people says no. Average time spent on social media per day is 46% between 1 hour to 3 hours, 30% between 30 minutes to 1 hour, 18% between 5 hours to 6 hours, and 6% between 6 hours and above. Which platform of social media do you prefer? 51% of the people prefer Instagram over other apps. 30% prefer YouTube. 11% prefer Snapchat. 7% prefer Facebook and the rest Twitter. Twitter is the least preferred social media platform, according to this study. Do social media affect lifestyle? Well, 24% of the people thinks that the social media has no effect on their lifestyle, but 76% of the people thinks that social media do affect their lifestyle. So now we are going to discuss the effect of social media on physical or mental health, where 41% of the people states that there is no effect of social media on physical or mental health, and the other 59% of the people feels that social media do affect their physical or mental health in a certain way. So further we proceeded to the question that is social media addiction or not, where according to this data 71% people said that there is no addiction with social media and 29% of the people feels addiction with social media. So now we are moving forward towards the effect of social media on mental health. So it is important to know what is mental health. According to World Health Organization, a trusted source states that mental health is a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope up with normal stresses of life, can work productively, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. People sometimes use the term mental health to mean the absence of a mental disorder, while conditions such as stress, depression, and anxiety can all affect the mental health and disrupt a person's daily routine. How social media is connected to mental health. Human beings are social creatures. We need the companionship of others to thrive in life, and the strength of our connections has a huge impact on our mental health and happiness. In today's world, many of us rely on social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, and Instagram to find and connect with each other. It's important to remember that social media can never be a replacement for the real world human connection. Ironically, for a technology that's designed to bring people close together, spending too much time engaging with social media can actually make you feel more lonely and isolated, and exacerbate mental health problems such as anxiety and depression. Here is the research study on risk factors of social media. Dr. Brownis also noted that social media could displace other behaviors such as sleep and exercise, which are important for maintaining a good mental health. Researchers study this process through what is known as displacement theory. So, link between social media and mental health. For a technology that is supposed to bring people close together, it can also have the opposite effects. Researchers are discovering that there are some downsides to social media, particularly with regard to mental health. So here's a question for all of you. Can you categorize your mental health as poor or good? Answer in yes or no to yourselves. Well, a 2017 study found that young people who use social media more than 2 hours per day are much more likely to categorize their mental health as fair or poor compared to occasional social media users. So, in which category do you fall? Let's discuss how social media affects your mental health. Number 1, it may contribute to depression. Human beings needs face-to-face contact to be mentally healthy. The more you prioritize the social media interaction over in personal relationships, the more you are at risk for developing and exhibiting the mood disorders such as anxiety or depression. Inadequacy about your life or appearance. Even if you know that images you are viewing on social media are manipulated, they can still make you feel insecure about how you feel and how you look, what's going in your life, and it can lower your self-esteem. Cyberbullying. About 10% of the teens report being bullied on social media, and many other users are subjected to offensive comments on social media. Self-absorption. Sharing endless selfies and all your innermost thoughts on social media can create an unhealthy self-centeredness and distance you from real life connections. And the most important point while discussing the effect of social media on mental health is FOMO, fear of missing out. The idea that you are missing out on certain things can impact your self esteem, trigger anxiety, and fuel even greater social media use. FOMO can compel you to pick up your phone every few minutes to check for updates or compulsively respond to each and every alert. So, what are the signs that social media is affecting you? How can you find that social media is affecting you? Number 1, social media distracts you. Number 2, you use social media to avoid negative emotions. Number 3, if spending more time on social media than with the real world friends. Number 4, comparing yourself unfavorably with others on social media. Having no time for self-reflection. What are the signs that shows that social media is affecting your mental health? Number 1, social media distracts you from other things. Number 2, you use social media to avoid negative emotions. Number 3, spending more time on social media than with real world friends. Number 4, comparing yourself unfavorably with others on social media. Number 5, having no time for self-reflection. And number 6, suffering from sleep problems. All these signs shows that how social media is affecting your mental health slowly and slowly. So now we have discussed all the negative effects of social media on our mental health. And we should now discuss some ways to detach ourselves from social media and to overcome this problem. Ways to detach yourself from social media. Number 1, delete your social media apps from your smartphone. From time to time, you should try to delete social media apps from your smartphone so that you can keep control on yourself. Number 2, turn on a timer to help you keep accountable. If you can't control yourself from using mobile phone, you should try to keep a reminder or alarm for this. Number 3, take up a new hobby that's not technology related. You should try to have a hobby like cooking, drawing, painting, or singing that is not technology related. Number 4, check in with friends and family offline. Instead of having a meet online, you should try to meet your friends and family offline. Number 5, monitor and limit your child's social media use. If you, as a parent, are worried about your children, then you should try to limit their use for social media. So, what is the conclusion of this subject? Social media provides users with a rapid means of electronic communication and content sharing. Although it has various positive effects, it can negatively affect users' mental health. Limiting the use of social media to 30 minutes a day can reduce FOMO, relieve loneliness, anxiety, depression, and sleep problems associated with the excessive use of social media. So, we can say that if there is a problem with social media and its excessive use, there are also ways to overcome this. So, instead of focusing on the problem, we should try to find the solution. So here is the bibliography. In this I have listed all the sources and the website that I have used to collect the data. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you will have a nice day.